Well, I'm out here canoeing on Manitou Lake in Saskatchewan, and I just found something that you do not see every day. So let's check it out. Well, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Cold Lake, Alberta. I've been hanging out here for a few days, did a couple fantasy football drafts, but it's officially time for me to move on. As you can see behind me, it is very windy and very wavy. What I wanted to do today was to canoe to Saskatchewan. And if you look way out there, you can see Saskatchewan. But obviously, the conditions are not good, so that isn't gonna happen. And in my experience, living the van life, when the weather's bad, you hit the road. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go dip into Cold Lake Provincial Park, get a shower, refill my water, and then we're gonna hit the road. I don't know where we're going, but I want you to come with me, so let's go.
While I am blaming the weather, it was time for me to move on regardless. After doing those fantasy football drafts and staying put for a few days, I had started to stagnate here. I had the same feeling earlier in this trip in Edmonton, where I stagnated while I was getting my muffler fixed. So with those things in mind, I think it's time to just get out of Alberta. Well, after a shower at least.
Okay, so we're officially in Cold Lake Provincial Park, and what we're looking for is going to be the sign that says campground or campsites or whatever. And then we're going to go up there, and then we're going to look for the sign that says showers. Also, be confident.
When you're on the road like this, the feeling of a half-decent shower can't be understated. They can completely change your mood, and they aren't always easy to come by. That's why I put this in the video. Van life isn't always about the awesome backcountry adventures. Sometimes it's about greaseballing your way to a free shower. Allegedly.
Okay, so we have officially parked to the shower building. The trail to the shower is up over there. I do want to note that I'm wearing Crocs, which are an absolute necessity when you're getting showers at these weird campsites or wherever. Because, frankly, well, when you see them, you don't really want to go barefoot in there. Anyways, I got my bag packed. I got garbage because I know there's a can up there. Toiletries and a towel. Do not forget a towel. You're going to feel like an idiot if you walk up there with no towel. And one other thing, always take some TP just in case. Anyways, let's go.
And then, like I said earlier, you just gotta have confidence. Walk in like you own this place. You're meant to be here, you're camping here, or else why would you be here having a shower at Cold Lake Provincial Park?
And there you go. That's how you get a free shower in Cold Lake, Alberta. With that being said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, have a shower, brush my teeth in the sink, and then we're hitting the road again. Okay, we're officially ready to go. I just gotta grab some gas and then hit the open road.
I actually refilled my water jug at camp, then grabbed gas, not free, please like and subscribe. Then I hit the road. And with the weather bad and my general readiness to get out of Alberta, I was going to put in some distance today. I set my sights on Manitou Lake, some 250 kilometers southeast of Cold Lake and just inside the Saskatchewan border. I can't say this was a particularly good drive, as the wind and mostly straight lines made it pretty draining. Since my van is shaped like a brick, you can really feel the wind blowing at you head on, but on the occasions where you turn broadside to the wind, all of a sudden you're gripping the steering wheel with all your might. But I guess that's just road tripping in Saskatchewan, baby. I am actually excited to be heading back to Saskatchewan. I came here on my last year's big summer van life adventure, and I had a great time. Way better than the jokes about Saskatchewan would have you believe. And now I'm excited about all the new things that I'll experience this year. Starting with Manitou Lake.
Okay, we are officially at Manitou Lake in Saskatchewan. I will say that drive was kind of a lot. It is very windy out here, very windy. You can probably see the wind there and down at the water. Very windy, and that van is blowing all over. I thought I saw a bear poo. It was just... Anyways, that van is not good in the wind, especially with the canoe on top. It blows all over. And a couple times you're like going with the wind, and then you turn against the wind, and it's like poof, and the whole canoe gets blown over. It's sketchy. I think it's windier here than in Cold Lake. I'm fairly positive, at least when I left. But check out the wind. Now we're gonna go down here to Manitou Lake. I will say, pretty spectacular looking. I just gotta get closer. So that is Manitou Lake. It is the Dead Sea of Saskatchewan. I believe there's 2 Manitou Lakes. So I think I'm at the right one, but I don't even know for sure. It's supposedly salty, and that foam looks kind of like it's ocean foam, but obviously it's way too windy for me to get in there. If the weather clears up tomorrow, I wouldn't mind putting my canoe in here, and if not, maybe just going for a float, but see if I do float. But pretty crazy spot. Big sandy beaches all the way down. It's this is a cool place. I am glad I came here today. This is cool. I will say the wind is a lot. It's kind of uncomfortable to be out here. I don't know, I think it would be a nice day if there's no wind, but pretty cold with the wind, but just kind of uncomfortable to be around. And here's some sort of boat launch or something. I don't really know what it is. It's got some sort of rails. Anyways, I'm gonna go back up to the van. Well, I'm back at the van. I've been hanging out here for a few hours, and I'm actually cooking dinner. And if you check it out there, I'm not gonna do a whole cooking show this episode. But yeah, I've been hanging out here for a couple hours. I got my chair out here. I've been sitting inside to get out of the wind. But I will say, the wind has kind of died down quite a bit. I looked at a wind forecast, and it's supposed to ease off, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be considerably less. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get out on the water tomorrow. I think that will be cool. So yeah, with that being said, I got some Italian sausage going. I got some water boiling to get some pasta in there. And then I got this tomato and ricotta pasta sauce from Walmart. I bought it because it was 666 milliliters, the number of the beast. So just, I just thought it'd be funny, so I bought it. Anyways, this is the parking lot I'm in. You can see the van, my bins are stacked up. It's just a big open parking lot. I cannot stay in this parking lot. There's a sign just up there that says no overnight camping, so I'm gonna respect that. But tonight I'm gonna go up the hill a bit. There's a little pull off the side of the road that was on Overlander, so I'm gonna camp there. But until then, I'm just gonna make my dinner, finish it, eat, go back inside, and keep my fingers crossed that the wind is gonna be gone in the morning. Well, I'm not going to dirty a plate, so I'm just eating it straight out of the pot. I'll give you the old taste test. It's pretty good. Sauce definitely tastes like it came from Walmart. Hard to complain, though.
After dinner, I was treated to a pretty epic sunset, but soon after that, it was time for me to go find my spot for the night. So I drove back up the hill to find the original spot that I had found on Overlander, and it was pretty awesome. So shout out to Overlander for the assist on this one.
I will say this is a hell of a spot to spend the night. Just look at that view. Good night. Well, good morning. It is not really morning, but I have moved down to the spot by the lake. And if you notice, the canoe is off because we are about to go canoeing. I do want to note, I got all my panels out, my solar panels out. I thoroughly enjoy putting the solar panels out. It just feels cool every time. Anyways, canoe is right here, and we're about to go canoe on Manitou Lake. Wind is kind of here, but not really that big of a deal. Compared to yesterday, it's absolutely night and day. You need to see how calm the lake looks. So, yeah, we're gonna go canoe. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy, but I would like to get out there, putt around, and maybe, just maybe, see if we float in that water. Anyways, let's go.
As always, every good canoe trip starts with a portage, and this one is over a beautiful sandy beach. And as you can see by the flamingos on my shorts, I'm treating this like a tropical paradise, and I'm really hoping to get into that salty water today.
Well, I've kind of determined I am not swimming. If you look, that's a whole bunch of gross looking algae, and I think that is a layer of salt. I'm not 100% sure. I did not really expect to see so much algae in here. I thought because it was a salt lake, nothing gross, but maybe I'm wrong about everything. Anyways, I'm going to get in this canoe and we're going to paddle out. We're going to go that way towards Manitou Island. I think that's the plan. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, let's get out onto Manitou Lake.
First, I tried to clear myself an algae-free path to the canoe. Then it was time to go. I am pretty disappointed to see so much algae. I don't know for sure if it's the same toxic blue-green algae that I found on the lakes in Alberta, or a non-toxic Saskatchewan version of algae. But either way, I'm disappointed. I had this beautiful picture of me floating in the Dead Sea of Saskatchewan, but now I'm not even prepared to touch the water.
Well, I will say this water does continue to be pretty gross, which is a bummer, but I don't think I'm very deep, so I think I'm going to head out. And if you look way out there, there's like a little white thing floating out there. I think I'm going to paddle over towards it and see what the water looks like. It's deeper, see what that is, and go from there. But I did think this lake was very nice yesterday, but now that I'm closer, I am a little disappointed today.
I slowly head out towards deeper water, but deep is a relative term here. Manitou Lake isn't a very deep lake, but it is bigger than its cousin, Little Manitou Lake, the other Dead Sea of Saskatchewan. Although Saskatchewan does house several different salty lakes. These lakes act like giant puddles. Water flows in, but it can't flow out, leaving the water to sit here until it evaporates, which leaves behind the salty particles that were once suspended in the water.
So we have gotten to our little white thing floating, and it is just foam. I don't know what exactly that is, and I'm gonna rinse my hand now. But kind of interesting. This morning, when I looked out, I saw a lot of those little foam islands out in the water, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." But then when I got to the shore, I seen the foam at the on the shore, and I was like, "Oh, I think that was my islands." Anyway, it's cool to see one. I think I'm gonna head over to that island over there and check it out. I believe it's Manitou Island, but it's the only island on the lake. I think that's true.
I guess that foam is the Salt Lake equivalent of sea foam that was whipped up in the winds of yesterday. And touching it was a whole new hands-on experience for me, as is paddling on a salt lake as a whole. While I didn't get my picture-perfect experience of floating weightlessly in the waters of Manitou Lake, it's hard to complain. I was treated to an epic sunset, solitude, and a very unique paddling experience in a landscape that's totally Saskatchewan. And that's why I came here. You never know what you're going to find when you get far away from home.
So I just pulled up on shore to the island here, and something out of the corner of my eye caught my attention. And it turns out it looks like it's a bull skull, or a cow skull at least, but it's got horns. I assume those are where the eyes are, and it ends there. I'm assuming that's the top of a skull to a cow. And I don't know for sure, but maybe this is all grazing land at some parts of the year. I don't really know, but I've never seen, I've never found a skull while canoeing. So that's pretty cool. Also, if you look into the water here, you can see all sorts of little bugs at the bottom. I don't know if they're little bugs or like some sort of sea creature. I'm not really sure. Pretty interesting though, but like I said, I've never found a skull before. So I think that's pretty cool. One other thing I want to mention is you can see how salty this water is based on the salt in my canoe. That's it's pretty substantial. Everything's starting to turn white. Even my toes are white. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. I am disappointed that I'm not going to swim in this water, but it's kind of gross over there. And over here, there's a dead cow in it. So obviously that doesn't invite me to go swimming. So that's kind of a bummer. But to me, I don't think this trip gets any more interesting than seeing that in the water. So that's it. That's the end of this episode. It's my trip into Saskatchewan, Manitou Lake van life, finding a skull at the bottom of Manitou Lake. And we're on to the next one. Peace. Well, I know I just did a little exit there and said my goodbyes. But if you look here, I found another bone. I don't know. I'm going to say it's from the same cow, but that's pretty wild. I feel like if I were to look around, if I'm going to spend more time to look around, I could probably find a whole bunch of bones in here. But I got to see if I can dig this one up and check it out, and then I'll actually say goodbye. Pretty crazy, though. I've never seen any bones canoeing, to the best of my knowledge. Ha, that's crazy. You can sort of see that one. Let's get a little closer. There you go. I don't know exactly what that would be. It's not super obvious to me. But, you know, there's another reason why they call it the Dead Sea of Saskatchewan, I guess. That's crazy. Anyways, peace.